Wow, Mangladega. Okay, thank you. Hello, Mr. Juve. Can you hear me?
Hello, Kanju.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you very much. And yourself?
Very well, thank you. So I'll hand over to the chairman so that we can start the session. Mr. Chairman? Yeah. Oh, Mr. Chairman, they're requesting a minute, just 1 minute. Okay. So let us know when you finish then. Just 1 minute. Mr. Juve, so we can now begin your testimony. Before we start, I would like to administer the oath. So repeat after me. I, Omar Juve,
Okay. I, Omar Juve,
do affirm that
do affirm that
I will speak the truth,
I will speak the truth,
the whole truth,
the whole truth,
and nothing but the truth.
and nothing but the truth.
Thank you very much. We already spoke before, so you know that my name is Horeja Balagay. I will be questioning you today on behalf of the commissioners. I already note that there is a delay in the transmission, so let's be mindful of that, and I will allow you to finish what you're saying, and then I'll start speaking after a few seconds. I would also ask that you do the same. During my questioning, if at any point my questions are either unclear or you would like me to repeat, please feel free to do so. Just
Thank
ask
you.
me to repeat. I am mindful of the fact that you have been working all night and you might have had maybe about 2 hours sleep before starting this testimony, so thank you very much.
You're welcome.
For your testimony, I will focus on 4 main topics. The first topic is about your who you are, so your biographical information, educational background, as well as work experience. Thereafter, I will focus on GAMSU as a student union body in the Gambia. So generally just about the mandate, composition and structure of GAMSU, as well as the ways in which information is disseminated, and lastly, the relationship with state authorities. For the third topic, it would focus on the events of April 10th, for the most part, and to some extent April 11th. We will talk about the incidents that led to the student demonstrations, as well as the meetings that you had with various state authorities. We will also talk about the executive meetings that GAMSU itself had prior to April 10th. And then lastly, the fourth topic would be about events that occurred in Dakar, Senegal. That would be our last topic. Do you understand?
Yes, I do.
So I will start with the first topic concerning your biographical information. Can you please state your full name for the record?
My name is Omar Diouf.
Can you tell us when and where you were born, Mr. Diouf?
I was born at Bakote in what used to be the Kombu St. Mary's Division. Now it's called Kanifing Municipal Area on the 4th of February, 1957.
Can you tell us a bit about your educational background, including which schools you attended and the years when you attended those institutions?
I did my primary school at Sukuta Primary from 1968 to 1973, during which period I did that if you look at that, you realize it's 5 years, because after topping my class in primary one, I was made to skip primary 2. I was taken to primary 3, and I continued that way up to primary 6. And I started the common entrance examination in 1963. I was top of my school, top of my class, and I'm among the best 10 in the country.
Just to interrupt you there, you said you sat your common entrance in 1963. Would that be correct?
1973.
Indeed. So it took you 5 years instead of 6 years to do your primary education.
Exactly. Yeah, because the headmaster at the time, who was Mr. Charles Powley, thought that I could cope with after my fourth year. He thought I would be able to cope with the primary school, the demands of primary school. So he skipped me. I skipped primary 2 and went to primary 3. I was disappointed in myself because I could not top the class that year. I came fourth, but from that point onwards, I topped my class up to when we started the common entrance examination. I topped my class, I topped my school, and I was among the best 10 in the whole country.
So I'd like to go through this quite quickly. Can you tell us where you went to for secondary education?
From Buddha Primary School, after having done so well at the common entrance, I had opted to go to Gambia High School. So expectations were that I would go to the Gambia High School. But when I went to Gambia High School, my parents were not able to provide an authentic birth certificate for me. And so it was difficult for me to go through the process of registration. But at the end of the process, the principal of Gambia High School suggested that since my papers were not correct, I should go to Cravellan School. That was in 1973. So I went to Cravellan School also. Mr. Baji was there then. He looked at my papers and suggested that I should go to Form 2 instead of Form 1. So I started that one too in Form 2, and instead of 4 years, I did it in 3 years. That was in 1976. And again, I was on the merit list for the whole country. So finally, I went to Gambia High School.
So this time you were accepted at Gambia High School. Can you give us the dates when you attended?
I went to Gambia High School in in September 1976, and was put in the Gambia High School had this A stream, B stream then. So because I came from a junior secondary school, I was put in Form 4B, which means I had to go through Form 4B, Form 5B, and then Upper 5B in order to do my O levels. So I went through that also, and did my O levels in July of 1979, and again I was able to go to the sixth one.
So when
I
did
did
you
my
finally complete your education at Gambia High School? That would be the A levels.
I
When
finally
did you complete?
Yeah, I completed my A levels in 1981 at Gambia High School.
Thank you very much for that. I'd like to move on briefly to your work experience. Upon completing your A levels at Gambia High School, where did you work?
After completing my A levels, I went to the newsroom at Radio Gambia. I worked at the newsroom in Radio Gambia from early 1982 to 1984. Then I left Radio Gambia. So I left Radio Gambia and went to what was the Gambia Commercial and Development Bank. I was enrolled there as a bank clerk. My first station, I was posted to the Grand Street branch, where we used to pay government salaries. And I was at Grand Street branch for a little over 1 year. Then I was posted to the Bakau branch.
So can you tell us when you finally stopped working at the Commercial and Development Bank? What year was that?
I stopped working at the Commercial and Development Bank in 1986, around sometime in April, March.
And thereafter, can you tell us what other job you held after the Commercial Bank?
I left the Commercial Bank and left the Commercial Bank by as part of my community work was I was part of a TESITO committee in my community at Bakote. We had built an elementary school, a primary school there. So when I left the bank, I was also a member of that school committee. I was the secretary at the school committee. So I had known the headmaster for years. Like, he was one of my teachers at primary school. I was the late Suleiman Ju. So I was brought in to help teach in grade 6 because they had just lost one of their primary 6 teachers. So it was about the end of September 1986 that I started teaching there.
And can you tell us for how long you taught at Bakote Primary School?
I taught at Bakote Primary School for 6 years. And in 1992, after having enjoyed teaching, and I decided to build a career in teaching. So I went to Gambia College in 1992, September.
And while you were at the Gambia College in 1992,
after 6.
Sorry, can you hear me, Mr. Ju?
Yes, I'm hearing you.
Thank you. While you were at the Gambia College in 1992, did you join any students' union?
Yes, I became part of the student union. I did not become part of the student union only, but Gambia College had a number of other organizations. Like I first became the acting chairman of the Islamic Solidarity Association, and I was also made secretary of the Youth Front Against Drug and Alcohol Abuse, before I was eventually made president of the Gambia College Students' Main Union. This was in 1993.
And can you tell us for how long you held that position as president of the
Student organization